I'm Dr. Kella Price, United States of America, Arizona's director, and I'm so excited to be interviewing our very own United States of America, Ms. Arizona 2020, Jennifer Drews.
Hi,
Hi, thanks for joining us today. You look beautiful.
thank you.
Glad to have you on the podcast.
I'm very excited to be here.
Good. Let's start with some information about your background. Now, I know you are not a native to Arizona. You are originally from Minnesota.
Minnesota.
How on earth does a girl from Minnesota get to Arizona?
So about 10 years ago, my husband at the time, he had the opportunity for a job transfer. And I had told him that one of the states that I would consider transferring to would be Arizona because I have relatives here. And an opportunity came up here, and that's how we came down here. It was a huge change going from Minnesota, where I had my friends and my family and all my hobbies and everything there, and coming down here and having nothing. So it was a huge change of rebuilding, but it really showed my resilience, that being able, I can pick up and go anywhere and rebuild. So I've been here 10 years.
Mhm.
And started on the west side, and slowly, and about 6 years ago, no, 6.5 years, oh my god, wow, it's been almost 7 years now. I've been divorced. So that was another huge change that showed my resilience. And I decided to stay in Arizona because during the time of the divorce, there was record days below zero in Minnesota.
Eek.
And I was sitting on a patio in Scottsdale Quarter in February, and it was beautiful. And I'm like, I can't give this weather up. I can't enjoy the weather at Scottsdale Quarter in February with the windows open and go back to Minnesota and have record days below zero. So as much as everything was going downhill at the time, just not working out, I'm like, there is Facebook, there is Skype, FaceTime, text. That's how I'm going to stay connected with my family and my support system. And I'm really glad that I did, because things did get better. I met some friends, I moved out on my own, and just really embraced the single life, and been single for about 6.5 years now.
Wow. So you mentioned that moving to Arizona showed your resilience. And this is something that a lot of women experience, whether they go off to college in a town that they've never been in before, or they do get married or get a job out of state, and they have to create their own roots and start over. What are some things that you found were ways that you could connect with your community and things that really made Arizona your home?
So when I first moved down here, I had told my husband at the time, I said we could move to Gilbert or Goodyear because that's where there's a Lifetime Fitness. And for me, my health club, that's my happy place. That's where I stay rooted. And so we moved to Goodyear because that's where there's a Lifetime. So I was able to kind of keep my workout routines. And then I met people through work. I was a gymnastic judge in Minnesota, and I was able to continue judging gymnastics in Arizona. So I became friends and got involved there. And then also another big thing is one of my platforms is the American Heart Association. And I was part of the Go Red for Women Ambassador Board in Minnesota. So when I came down to Arizona, I reached out to the American Heart Association before I'd even moved down here and said, hey, I'm part of this board in Minnesota. Have you thought about doing this type of board in Arizona? And they said, no, we hadn't, but that's something that we could look into. And they did. And they started that board 9 years ago, and I met friends through there. And so it was just kind of little by little that, I just started getting roots and meeting friends and getting my place in the community.
That's great. Find a gym, find some places to volunteer. Those are great places to connect with people and really make a community your home. You mentioned the weather in Arizona, and that is one of the things that I absolutely love about Arizona is the beautiful weather year round and the so many outdoor activities and nature that you can enjoy. What's one of your favorite things? Because it's still pretty hot in Arizona. What are some of your favorite things to do to keep cool? Because the temperature is quite warm still.
Well, besides staying indoors to stay cool, but being outside, I like hiking, but that's been kind of on hold for the last few months. I'm hoping to go hiking this weekend in the morning before it gets too hot. And I like playing golf. And
I think we lost you, Jennifer. Stand by.
looks like we're back streaming on Facebook.
Yay! I have no idea what happened, but I'm glad to be back with you now. Joining again with Jennifer Drews. We were talking about things that you like to do in Arizona.
So things I like to do. Hiking is definitely one that I like to do. And I have so many mountains close to me. I'm hoping to get out this weekend. And I played golf in Minnesota. So a couple years ago, I took lessons again, kind of a refresher, met some friends who play golf. So I'm really looking forward to going golfing this winter, getting back on the links. And then something I'm really excited about, I used to do in Minnesota all the time, rollerblade. Minnesota is the home of rollerblading. So I mistakenly gave away my rollerblades when I got divorced and sold my house 6.5 years ago. And just yesterday, I bought a new pair of rollerblades, so they should be here next week, and I cannot wait to go rollerblading again.
Oh, that sounds like fun. I cannot rollerblade. I love hiking. Golfing is a great activity to do in Arizona because of the weather, and there's so many great, beautiful golf courses. But I'll leave the rollerblading to you. I'm sure the technology of the rollerblades has gotten a lot better even in the last 6.5 years. So it was probably a good reason to replace those rollerblades. So one of your other hobbies is pageantry. This is not your first crown. How did you get interested in pageantry?
So it's something I've always wanted to do, but my mom was never into it. So it was basically like, I'll never be able to do pageants. I couldn't do, and back in the 80s and 90s, there really was only America and USA. Well, I can't sing, dance, or play an instrument, so there's no way I could do America. I'm not 6 foot and 100 pounds soaking wet, so there's no way I could do USA. And it wasn't until about 12 years ago when I did a small little carnival pageant in Minnesota that I saw the international pageant. And I really liked the values that they invoked was, you know, what you contribute to your marriage and your family and your community and your career. And because I was married, I had my own money. I wasn't asking my parents to pay for it. I decided to go for it and fell in love with it. And kind of the rest is history. I've done a few systems. I've done international. I've done United States. I've done US Continental. And now the latest is United States of Americas.
Great. And I know that you even inspire others and encourage others in pageantry with your involvement with the Sparkles Fun Beauty Pageant. Can you tell us a little bit about that nonprofit organization?
Yes. So my friend Tanya Westman started the Miss Sparkles Fun Beauty Pageant, and it's a beauty pageant for girls with disabilities. And we have girls ranging from 16 years old up to late 20s. So I've been involved with that for 6 years now, and it's really great seeing the girls just blossom when they're given encouragement and told they can do things. It's so great to see just what they can do. Our first queen, Molly, she is in a wheelchair. She didn't think that she'd ever go to prom, ever go to college. Well, Tanya has such a big heart, and she instilled that in her children. So her son took Molly to prom, her senior prom. So Molly got to experience prom. And then Molly went to ASU. She made the dean's list for ASU. She just got her master's degree and was on the dean's list for ASU, something she never thought that she could do. And because of the encouragement, the confidence that she got being part of Sparkles, you know, she's just achieving so much. And I get goosebumps when I talk about what these girls can achieve. I have another Sparkles queen, Diane, and she was so shy when I first met her 6 years ago. She got her 2-year degree. She was able to have the confidence to speak in one of her classes for, I can't remember what class it was, but she had to give a speech and she was able to do that, and she wasn't nervous. And her and I have kind of kept really in touch, really close. So hopefully in another couple weeks, I will be visiting her. She is at First Place, which is a place for young adults with autism to learn how to live on their own. They get life skills. And I'm going to go visit her. Her birthday's coming up next week. So a year ago, I told her I would take her to White Castle. Since I love White Castle, I know it's kind of weird, but being from Minnesota. So I can't take her to White Castle. So I'm going to bring her White Castle and a cake for her birthday. And I'm going to go see her. But because of coming home from Minnesota, I kind of want to stay away from people for a few weeks to make sure that I'm healthy before I go visit her. So I'm just very excited to do that. So I love Sparkles, seeing what these girls can overcome. And you realize that whatever problems you're having in life, you know, they have problems, but they are able to overcome that. And so they're really an inspiration to me.
They are. I've met some of the ladies that have participated in the girls. When I was United States of America Mrs. Arizona, I interacted with them, and they are just a joy to be around. They're so enthusiastic. And what you said is really true. When you encourage someone and you tell them that they can, and ask them about their dreams and encourage them to push through these invisible boundaries, people can do amazing things. It's when they get that negative mentality or that negative reinforcement of, you can't do this because, or you're not good enough, or you're not smart enough, or all these things that we hear in social media and negative influences. So it's great that you're able to provide some positivity and work with these girls to help them grow and develop in their confidence and self-esteem.
Yeah, and back in May, it was really fun because they basically have been stuck in their homes. They can't go anywhere. The staff of Sparkles, we did a car parade. So there was about 6 girls. We started in Chandler, ended up in Verrado. So we drove to each of the girls' houses. We gave them little gifts, little treats. We have our junior directors, who are high school students, do chalk art on the driveways. And we had signs, and we did a little dance, and we just brightened their day. It was so much fun. It was a long day, but it was totally worth seeing these girls get so excited. And our little car parade actually made it on 3 networks in May, local networks, about what we did.
Awesome. That's really cool. Now, you've been involved in pageants for a while, and for many people who have never done a pageant, they don't realize that pageantry is a sport, and there's a lot of preparation and training required to prepare for the pageant stage. What are some things that you do to prepare for competition?
Just like an athlete does, first get a coach, because the coach is going to help you on areas that you're not familiar with. They're going to push you, and they're going to give you encouragement. I have a coach, and she's based in Minnesota, so we do Skype sessions, and she helps me with my interview, because you always need somebody to help you with practice interview questions, watch your facial expressions, help you answer those questions. And sometimes you have a question and you answer it, but you're like, oh, that's not really what I want to say. I want to do something else. I want to say something else. And they help you kind of word your questions. And then also walking. You definitely have to be comfortable walking in 6-inch hills on a stage. So having the space, now that's one thing that's very hard in my small condo, but I have a tennis court in my condo complex. So I went on the tennis court with my heels and I practiced my walk every few days so I could get comfortable walking on stage, hitting my poses. So that's definitely practice and coaching. Having a coach is really helpful.
That's great advice. And the tennis court is a great idea. You don't have to have a large amount of space to practice, but getting comfortable just walking around in those heels. When I'm coaching people, I tell them, wear your heels around the house. Practice with the heels so that you don't look and feel like a baby giraffe on stage, right? uh, and even practicing walking in the clothing that you're going to be wearing, because sometimes if you're practicing in one thing and then you get on stage, your outfit moves differently, especially with those long trains and the dresses.
Definitely.
Planning your circle so that your dress lays nicely on this stage, it's part of the performance aspect for sure.
Yes, and I live on a second floor and I have hardwood floors. So I would text my neighbor below me and I would say, I'm practicing walking. So for about 10 minutes, you're going to hear clip clopping on the floor. And she would respond, okay, or I'm not home. But it was just, it was kind of funny. She would just laugh. She's in her early 60s and she thought it was very cute.
For sure. And very courteous, I'll tell you that. What are some of the best things that have come from your experience with the United States of America pageants?
The sisterhood, definitely. I feel that I'm very close to, especially my Mrs. Queen, Jennifer Ruddle. I don't know, maybe it's just the name, but we got to be very close before before we competed at state, and then with both of us winning state, going through the process together. And she's been great. The last few months have been really hard with quarantine. Living alone, not going out. You really find out who your true friends are when you go through situations like quarantine. And Jen has been great being able to share my frustrations with different things and her encouragement. And she's gone through some stuff, so I encouraged her, whether it's just sending a fun text. And so I think that's definitely the biggest positive from this experience.
That's great. I know personally from my competing that I still maintain contact with some of my sister queens from the year that I was Mrs. Arizona. We talked a little bit about your philanthropy projects and what you're passionate about. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you're doing with the American Heart Association?
So I still am part of the Go Red for Women Ambassador Board. It is now done for the year. It starts in September, goes through about April, and during that time, we are planning events, we're attending different health fairs, and we're also trying to get buildings to go red for National Go Red for Women Day, which is the first Friday in February every year. And then also just encouraging people to live a heart healthy lifestyle by posting articles, comments, things like that on social media. So that's what I do with the American Heart Association. And with Sparkles, right now we're not doing too much, but in May, I sent little notes to every single one of our Sparkles Queen just to say, hi, hope you're doing okay. And, it's fun getting mail in the, an actual hard copy of a letter in the mail. So I know that brightened a lot of the Queen's days.
That's a great idea. I think the art of writing a nice letter is a great way to reach out and connect with people. And people enjoy reading those things. When people send me or write me a handwritten note, I usually keep those, and I like to look back at them. And if they send me photos or whatnot, when they have kids, it's great to have that connection with them on a more personal level than an email.
And, I know the pageant motto is inspire, uplift, and I'm blanking on the third.
Empower.
Empower,
Yeah.
empower, inspire, and uplift. And recently, I just started doing this. I was texting with a friend on a Saturday morning, and I sent her a little fun gift, a little picture. This is "You're amazing," and she's like, "No, you're amazing." And I know that put a smile on her face. So for the last 2 weeks, I've been kind of following that uplifting, where every day, randomly, I Facebook message 5 women in my Facebook friends group a little picture that says, "Just wanted to let you know that you're amazing."
Oh,
And I do it randomly. I kind of have a system, but it's random within my system. And, it's people that I don't normally talk to, but I just wanted to, just say hi to them. And it's actually reconnected me with some friends I hadn't talked to in a while. In fact, this week I had a friend from high school I haven't talked to in 20 years, and I sent the thing to her, and she actually called me on Facebook Messenger, and we talked for a half hour and caught up. It was such a great feeling.
that's so nice. Now, in terms of, we know it's been quarantine season, which makes it hard to get involved with the community, and so many things have been canceled or postponed this year. But what charities and activities have you been involved with supporting since you started your reign as United States of America Ms. Arizona?
So since my reign, I was involved with the American Heart Association and Sparkles. One of my favorite appearances was being the MC for Wreaths Across America back in December, and it's a veterans group that puts wreaths on veterans who have passed away
All over the country. It's
all over the country, and they do events in December where they do a ceremony. And one of our judges, Christina Wagner, she was supposed to be the MC, and she had a personal emergency and she couldn't be part of it, and she reached out to me and asked me if I could MC, and I was so honored to do that because I am so pro-military or pro-veterans. Being the daughter of a veteran, I was just honored that she thought of me to be part of this event.
That's really cool and a great, worthwhile organization. You mentioned that your family has veterans, and that brought to my mind your patriotic costume. We had patriotic outfits as part of the fun of the show and the competition. Tell us a little bit about your patriotic outfit, because I think it was really cool.
So for my patriotic wear, I didn't want to do like just a costume like Wonder Woman. As much as I love Wonder Woman and patriotic, I wanted to do something different. And I decided I thought it'd be really cool to honor my dad because he's a Purple Heart recipient. And I thought it would be cool to wear a red dress. And I was just going to get a Purple Heart pin from Amazon. Well, it just happened that my dad was coming down to Arizona to play golf with a friend the week before the state pageant. And I had mentioned this to him a couple weeks before, and I'm like, "Oh, it'd be so great to wear your Purple Heart, but I don't want you to mail it through in the mail because I wouldn't want it to get lost." And he said, when we first talked about it, he's like, "Totally understand." Then when he found out he was going to come down, he's like, "I'll bring it down." And it was really cool. My outfit was it was very simple, purple dress with the pin. And, it wasn't flashy like other people's at the state and at the national level. But for me, it meant a lot personally and emotionally, because it was June 19th, 1970 that my dad was injured in Cambodia.
That's such an awesome tribute. I'm getting teary-eyed just thinking about the whole thing. And you did it so well on stage. You even had this little heart thing that you did.
Well, because I wanted to show off the pin. And
it was a great tribute to your dad, and I thought it was really special and unique. And I think that's part of the way that we can showcase our personalities in a pageant, is by our selections of what we're going to wear for the different parts of the competition. So I just thought that was a really neat idea and something very special and definitely unique to you.
Yeah, I really liked at the state level because there wasn't a lot of people we could say what our patriotic were meant to us. Where at the national level, because there were so many, we weren't able to do that. I just happened earlier in that day to be talking to the California and Washington, Oregon directors, and we were talking about patriotic wear. And so during the patriotic wear portion of the pageant nationals, they started whispering Purple Heart in the audience, so people could kind of understand why, my outfit, which was pretty cool. I think that's where, I also loved about the pageant system is, I may be from Arizona, but, I have friends from other states, and I've gotten to know their directors, and their directors were supporting, other contestants, other states' contestants, which was really cool.
It was, definitely. Now, it's been such a stressful time with everything going on with our economy and the health concerns. And this causes a lot of stress for many individuals, anxiety and depression. How have you reduced your personal stress during this time?
Great question, because it's been very stressful for me. Like I mentioned earlier, living alone, not having anybody, finding out who my friends are. I basically lost a whole group of friends during this time. And so it was a really stressful time for me. I kind of went into a little mini depression a little bit, but I had posted something on Facebook about it, and I had a friend reach out to me and ask me if I'm okay and if I wanted to get together for dinner. And we did. And, it kind of realized, okay, you know what, I do have friends out there. I just need to reach broader than my inner circles, because there's some people in my outer circles that, probably could get to know more. And that's helped me reduce stress. And then when Arizona was able to open again, I was able to start going to meetups again. And I reconnected with some friends I hadn't seen for a while, and I made new ones. And that's really what helped my stress is, those friendships, and then working out. Arizona was closed with their gyms, and I still needed my workouts. So I reached out I'm part of a group, and I did Beachbody workouts. And having that Beachbody family on Facebook and doing the Beachbody workouts, that's also really helped my stress levels.
Definitely exercise and making connections with people. Both of those are great ways to reduce stress. And you pointed out something else that I want to emphasize too, is that you were willing to reach out and be honest and real with people and say, hey, I'm struggling over here. Because I think sometimes people are hesitant to show any kind of struggle or challenge in their life on social media because they want to look good. But I think it's important to be real with people and let them know that just because you have a crown on your head doesn't mean that you don't have a bad day, right? That things can happen in our life, and it's okay to reach out to people and ask for help. And it's important to do that for our own mental health and well-being. So those are
Definitely.
great things to get you over the hump for sure.
And you definitely realize, like, if people have, problems with you sharing that, then, those are probably not the people that you want to be around that you want in your life.
For sure. Now, as a queen, what is a beauty tip that you can share with others?
So I have 2 tips. 1, drink lots of water. 2, stay out of the sun. Okay, I guess I have 3. And start using anti-aging products early on in life. 20 years ago, I was introduced to Mary Kay, and they'd just come out with their Time Wise formulation, and I started using it. That was in my mid-20s, and now I'm in my mid-40s, and I stayed out of the sun. I used anti-aging and products, and I drank about 2 quarts of water a day, where now people don't believe that I'm in my mid-40s. They think I'm in my 30s.
It's great, right? Drinking water is so important. And we actually have a Mary Kay consultant who is one of our sponsors. I use Mary Kay as well. And I get similar comments from people about my skin, which is so important when you live in a state that is super sunny like Arizona, to make sure you stay hydrated, make sure you protect your skin, and use products to that have anti-aging benefits, because it will make a difference. You can tell the girls who were outside in the sun with the baby oil on and they haven't changed those habits from 20 years ago, because it's starting to show in their skin, because it's damaging. And once you damage your skin, you can't go back, unfortunately.
Yeah, I love our Mary Kay sponsor. I love getting my Time-Wise products as part of my prize package. And 20 years ago, being from Minnesota, because we weren't in the sun a lot, it was tanning beds. I have friends in Minnesota who did the tanning beds all the time, and you definitely can tell their skin now versus I didn't do the tanning beds back in my 20s.
It definitely makes a difference. Now, for someone who is considering competing in the United States of America Arizona pageant this upcoming year, what is some advice or encouragement that you could give to them?
I would say I would encourage people to do it because it's a very fun system, and to have fun and embrace it.
That's great advice. And we made an announcement earlier this week that our November event is going to be a virtual preliminary, November 13 through 15, which was our original scheduled date, has not changed, but we are making it a virtual preliminary because the environment is so unknown and we want people to be able to count on the event and not make any changes. And so I'm really excited about that with a price point of $199. It's very affordable as a preliminary event to our state competition, which will be at the end of January 2021, right before our national competition in February. So it's going to be a super fun winter. What's next for you, Jennifer? What does the future hold? Are there any big goals you're chasing after right now?
I think the biggest is just work. So just before the state pageant, I started a new job 3 days before the state pageant. So, and it's going well. I love my job. I love the company and my clients. So really just focusing on work. I want to move up to that next level into a senior category manager. And I'm still contemplating what the next pageant is, and then traveling.
Those are great goals to have, and certainly the enjoyment of travel. That's one of my favorite hobbies. And I was able to travel successfully over the summer with no incidents, even given COVID. It did require a little bit of adjustment with some of the things that would normally be open, but that's definitely a great goal to have. I have a bunch of places I want to go on my bucket list for sure.
Yes. Oh, and redecorating my condo.
Oh.
I bought it 2 years ago and I'm just now starting to repaint and redecorate. So I'm very excited because I can do that. I don't have to have somebody's permission like when I was married. So it's so exciting to be able to make something my own.
That is fun, and it's fun to go shopping and select things that you absolutely love, especially in a time of quarantine that you're spending a lot more time at home than you maybe have in the past. Maybe people are looking around thinking, gosh, there's things about my house or my room that I don't like or not relaxing to me. And this is a great time to Marie Kondo things, right? One room at a time, and find things that you can put in your home that make you relax, that make you happy. And so that's a great idea for sure.
I'm addicted to Pinterest, looking at different things.
That's a great place to look for ideas for sure.
Yes.
Let's end on a positive note. What is your favorite motivational or inspirational quote that you can share with our listeners?
Oh God, I have a few. Had a couple, I just like, being able to put a smile on someone's face makes me happy. Doing little things every day. You don't have to make somebody happy by doing something big, even if it's just reaching out and saying, hi, how are you? Can put a smile on someone's face and telling them that they're amazing.
That's great advice for anyone listening and watching. And I'm really excited to continue to connect with you over the next few months. We have some great things planned. with the United States of America Arizona pageant activities. Some of our sponsors will be doing some live workshops on our Facebook page and events leading up to our preliminary event. So I'll be looking forward to chatting with you and seeing you more. Thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you.